Hi everybody, Dr. Liz here with a few words about the final paper that you'll be turning in this week. And first thing that I want to make sure is extremely clear is that the final paper is graded differently from your earlier submissions. So what I have here is the rubric for the milestone 2 that you turned in earlier this term. And if you look at the rubric for the research methods and the outcome section, for example, you'll see that you got 100% of your points if it was proficient. But then if you look at the final paper area here, you'll see that now there is a proficient section, but now for the research methods and the outcome section, 100% of your points is the exemplary category. So in the milestone 2, you might have gotten, and a lot of you guys, this was the case, you got full credit, like you got 70 out of 70 points. But I might have made a comment or a suggestion or something for you to add to your research method section. And the reason that you still got 100, even though I wish it was missing something, is because 100% in the earlier submission was proficient. Like you got I'm sorry, I think I just said that wrong. 100% of your points was for a proficient. So please keep in mind that just because you might have gotten a 100 on your earlier drafts, that's because it's graded more easily, and you're going to have to go back and address those comments that I added to your earlier drafts in order to make sure that you're going to get 100 on the final project. So if you are having a hard time seeing those comments or you're just not clear exactly on what some of them mean, please reach out. I am more than happy to help with that. And the other thing that I wanted to mention here is that we haven't talked about this because the whole paper wasn't together yet. But it says that it must be written in APA format. You know that because I've helped you out with the formatting for your cover page and for your end citation. So the one other aspect of APA structure is that you have a very specific format for your headings. And so I kind of gave you a little outline here, and I will attach this to the non-graded discussion board. So you've got your cover page. In milestone 1, I gave you information about how to format that. But then there's very specific heading structure. And so these are what your headings should look like for your final paper to be considered to be in APA format. So the major sections are the introduction, the analysis, the discussion. I just realized that I forgot the reference page. So I'm going to add that here. And so the way that formatting works for APA is that every major section, so in this paper you have 3 major sections. You've got your introduction, your analysis, and your discussion. So those 3 headings should be bold and centered. And then you've got your subheadings, which are each of the subtopics in each major. So you had your focus, your purpose, and your group in the introduction section, and then analysis and outcomes in your analysis, and then implications and next steps underneath that. So what we would need to do, sorry guys, is so make sure that you've got for your major headings, your intro, your analysis, your discussion, and your reference, that those are all centered in bold. And then for each subsection, you've got your focus. Then, of course, you would say focus. And then your paragraph that goes over your focus should be underneath. Then your purpose, and, of course, your paragraph under there, and so on and so forth. So since these are subheadings, according to APA, those aren't centered. They're still bold, but those are going to be on the left-hand side. So just wanted to provide that little bit of guidance for you. And then also, as far as the implications and the next step section, I'll offer some suggestions. To be honest, you really can't mess up these sections. Pretty much the only way, because it's really just you offering your opinion. There's really no right or wrong answer, right? I mean, for implications, of course, it's asking, specifically like what you found interesting, what you get out of this wider relevance. So you really can't screw this up, right? So you're pretty much going to get your points. Now, obviously, we need a full paragraph because there could be a point deduction if you only said like a sentence or two, without any supporting details. But as long as you got a good, solid paragraph, there's really no wrong or right answer here. And then next steps is kind of the same thing. It's really more of an opinion. So what do you think needs to be done? A suggestion that I have for the next step section is maybe what a lot of students do very well is future research that could be done about this. So for example, if the sample size for your study was pretty small, you might want to redo the sample with the study with a larger sample. Or if there's another aspect of the research that you found that you would really like to know about. So again, these two sections, the reason you don't turn them in for feedback early is because it's really, kind of hard to mess these up, in my opinion, because it really is just your opinion. So the biggest thing I can say for that is just make sure that you have supporting details so that I can give you full credit, because you'll see that for here. Really, the only difference is between proficient and exemplary is in proficient. Yeah, you give me an opportunity, but here it's more you're identifying various ways to address it. So that's where you might want to have those supporting details, where you provide more than one example. So I hope this helps. Please let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll be happy to be here to support you, and I'm looking forward to reading your papers. Thanks so much, guys.